You probably think this is a fact, right? Well, science says it's not. And once you see the evidence, you'll never look at this the same way again. Yeah, me too. And so has everyone you know. Here's the thing that'll blow your mind. Some of the most obvious facts we learned as kids? Completely wrong. And we're all still repeating them like gospel truth. Let me guess, sometime in the last 48 hours. You told someone a fact that sounded smart, right? Maybe at dinner. Maybe in a meeting. Maybe to win an argument online. What if I told you that fact was probably completely wrong? And everyone nodded along anyway because it sounded true? Yeah, that's the scary part. These aren't just random mistakes. These myths cost people money, ruin arguments. And, no joke, some of them literally kill people. Think of the last fact you confidently stated. Got it? Good. Keep that in your head. Because there's a 50-50 chance we're about to destroy it. So today, we're destroying the 5 biggest lies everyone still believes. I'm talking about facts you've heard 1,000 times. From teachers, from parents, from those documentaries you binged at 2 a.m. By the end of this video, you'll question everything. And honestly, that's exactly where you should be. But here's the kicker. The last myth we cover? That one actually costs lives. I'm not being dramatic. People die because they believe it. Let's start with the one that made me furious when I found out. Number 1, brain power. We only use 10% of our brains. Bull. Crap. This myth has been around since the 1890s, and somehow it refuses to die. Brain scans prove we use virtually all of our brain throughout the day. Different areas light up for different tasks. But nothing is just sitting there collecting dust. I had a coworker, let's call him Dave, who bought a $2,000 brain optimization course. The guru promised he'd unlock his hidden genius. Dave quit his job to focus on the course. 3 months later, Dave was broke, back at his old job, and the guru had disappeared with everyone's money. You know the worst part? Dave learned he'd been scammed. Using 100% of his brain. Here's the reality. If 90% of your brain was useless, evolution would have deleted it millions of years ago. Think about it. Your brain uses 20% of your entire energy. That's like paying rent for a 10-bedroom mansion, but only using the bathroom. Nature doesn't waste resources like that. But here's what really gets me. The person who started this myth? They made it up to sell a book. No science. Just marketing. And we fell for it for 130 years. Drop brain myth in the comments if you believe this one. No judgment. I did too. Wait. You're still here? Good. Because the next myth? I literally used it as an insult last week. And now I feel like an idiot. Number 2, goldfish memory. Goldfish have 3-second memories. My friend Rebecca used this line last week to roast her ex-boyfriend. I had to break her heart and tell her. Goldfish can remember things for months. Scientists trained goldfish to recognize shapes, colors, and feeding times. These little swimmers can navigate complex mazes and remember the solutions for 5 months or longer. So where'd this myth come from? Probably from watching a goldfish swim in circles and assuming it forgot where it started. But here's the gut punch. We've been using goldfish brain as an insult for decades, based on absolutely nothing. And honestly, this reveals something darker about human logic. We observe something for 5 seconds, make up an explanation, and then defend it like scientific fact for the next 100 years. It's like we're so confident in our ignorance. And that confidence, that's what makes us repeat these lies. Who here has called someone a goldfish? Don't lie. I can see you. Comment guilty right now. Okay, the next one is personal. Because I learned this from a teacher, an adult I trusted. And I'm still mad about it. Number 3, Vikings. Quick. Picture a Viking in your head right now. You're seeing horns, right? Wrong again. Vikings never wore horned helmets in battle. Not one, I repeat, not one authentic Viking helmet with horns has ever been found. Historians are unanimous on this. So why do we all know Vikings had horns? It was literally one costume designer in the 1800s for a Wagner opera. He thought horns looked dramatic. That's it. One guy's aesthetic choice. But here's where it gets insane. Museums in Scandinavia have actual Viking helmets on display. They're simple, practical, horn-free. But tourists literally complain that they don't look Viking enough. The Minnesota Vikings NFL team? Horned helmet logo. Billions of dollars in branding based on a costume mistake from 150 years ago. This is human logic in a nutshell. We'd rather believe a lie that looks cool than the truth that looks boring. Comment horns if you pictured them. Comment practical if somehow you knew the truth. I'm betting 95% of you are typing horns right now. All right, this next one. I learned it in elementary school from a teacher, and I believed it until I was 23. Number 4, blue blood. Blood is blue until it hits oxygen. Who started this? Your blood is always red. Always. Deoxygenated blood is a darker maroon red. Oxygenated blood is bright red, but never blue. Your veins look blue because of how light penetrates your skin layers, not because your blood magically changes color. I learned this myth in elementary school from a teacher, and I believed it until I was 23. 23 years old, people. Here's the painful truth. Sometimes the people teaching us are just wrong. They learned it wrong, never questioned it, and passed it along like a game of broken telephone across generations. And you know what's crazy? I probably taught this to other people during those 23 years. I spread the lie with confidence because my teacher said so. How old were you when you found out? Drop your age in the comments. Let's see who held on to this the longest. Bonus points if you were older than 23. All right, fun and games are over. This next myth? It doesn't just make you look dumb. It can kill you. I'm not exaggerating. Number 5, lightning, the deadly one. Lightning never strikes the same place twice. The Empire State Building gets hit about 25 times per year. Lightning loves hitting the same tall objects repeatedly. This myth literally costs lives. Someone thinks they're safe standing under a tree that's already been struck during a storm. Nope, that tree is a lightning magnet. They get hit, and sometimes they die. My uncle is a park ranger. He told me about a hiker who refused to leave a shelter during a storm because lightning already hit this spot. Guess what happened? It hit again. The hiker survived, but barely. But here's why this myth persists. It sounds wise, doesn't it? It sounds like the universe has some kind of cosmic fairness system. You've suffered once, so you're safe now. We desperately want the world to be fair. So we invent facts that make it seem that way. Be honest. Have you ever made a decision based on this myth? Comment lightning logic if yes. And if you know someone who still believes this, tag them. Seriously, you might save their life. Okay, stop for a second. Notice the pattern here. Every single myth gives us comfort. We're secret geniuses. Animals are dumb. History was dramatic. Our blood is magic. Bad things won't repeat. We don't believe lies because we're stupid. We believe them because they make reality easier to swallow. You want to know something embarrassing? I caught myself doing this yesterday. I told my friend everything happens for a reason after she got fired. You know why? Because saying sometimes life is random and unfair felt too cruel. I chose the comforting lie over the honest truth. Just like these myths. So here's what keeps me up at night. What if the reason we can't solve big problems, climate change, polarization, inequality, is because we keep choosing comforting myths over uncomfortable truths? And here's the really uncomfortable truth. The one I warned you about at the beginning. What else are you believing right now that's completely wrong? Here's what terrifies me. We just covered 5 myths that millions of people believed with absolute certainty. 5 myths that sounded so true, we never questioned them. The scariest part isn't that we believed these myths. It's that we felt smart believing them. So right now, not later, not tomorrow, right now. I want you to do something. Comment, I always thought. And share one myth you believed until this video. Because here's the thing. I'm reading every single comment for the next hour. And the myth that shocks me the most? I'm pinning it, and I'm making a whole video about it next week. Your comment might become next week's video. How crazy is that? And if you want to keep questioning everything with me, hit that subscribe button. Because next week's topic? The lies you tell yourself that keep you stuck. Yeah, that one's going to hurt. But it's going to help even more. Oh, and before you click away, I'm dropping one bonus myth in the description. That's so controversial, I can't even say it out loud in this video. It involves a major food company and a lie they've been telling for 50 years. Go check it out. I dare you. See you in the comments. And remember, question everything. Including me. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. So make sure to subscribe to see them.